welcome back to the 30-day Feel Good Scoliosis Challenge. Today we're on day 29, we were almost there. We're going to be working on some side lying stuff today. So I just want you to know that there are ways to make this way more complicated and specific for different curve types. I really am just going to try and keep this simple because I don't know your curve type and I don't know how much you know about your curve, but I'm just going to try and explain it in a way that you can explore and maybe try and understand the different things that you can do for your scoliosis. It's also helpful if you take a video of your spine and watch it back, or take a photo or have someone watch you do this, because basically we're trying to get the spine as long as possible using some props lying on our side. So what's going to be handy if you have a yoga block? Wonderful. And either some scoliosis props if you have some little bean bags or anything like that, or some folded up towels or pillowcases also work as well. So if you need to grab some of those, just put me on pause and go grab them. Just so you know, I have right thoracic, left lumbar scoliosis. I'm going to start lying down on my left side. So this is the side that is my major thoracic curve. So this is where my major curve is, and I'm going to prop for this curve. If you have a curve similar to mine, wonderful. If you don't, then just listen to what I'm saying and see if you can adjust it to your curve. So I'll show you what you can do first without the block. Basically, we're going to focus on propping underneath the lumbar spine here. This is going to be the most important bit. You can also prop for the cervical curve, which I do, but again, this is really going to be dependent on you and your scoliosis. The lumbar curve, you want something with roughly this thickness. Again, everybody's kind of different. But when you lie on your side like this with right thoracic, left lumbar, the left curve wants to come down like this. So you want to prop underneath it. And the lumbar spine is the part between your ribs and your pelvis. So please don't prop underneath the ribs on this side. If you have a left thoracic, right lumbar, if you lie on your right side instead of your left, you're going to be propping the same way as me right now, just on the other side. So you're going to lie down, propping underneath the lumbar curve, and if you don't have a yoga block, you can just use your armpit here as a pillow. For my neck curve, my cervical curve, I would place this under here. I don't want anything underneath the ribs. I like to have a block because I just find that it is better for my head, and I even actually put a pillowcase here. Remember, you can use folded up towels or pillowcases to go underneath here. If you don't know about your cervical curve, just leave that one out. Make sure you have a prop underneath the lumbar curve. If you have a lumbar curve, which the majority of us are going to have some form of lumbar curve. So if you have right thoracic, left lumbar, you're lying on your left. If you have left thoracic, right lumbar, you are lying on your right side, and we're propping the same. We can extend the top leg out and have the bottom knee bent. And we can lie here, just focusing some deep breaths, trying to get the spine as long as possible. So you can push your right heel away from you, you can reach the crown of the head up, especially if you know you have if this hip is usually higher, which my hip is. So that's why I like to push this heel away, because it's going to get length in this concave area here. If you don't know about that, just don't worry about it, or just have both of your knees bent, but try and make sure your hips are level. And basically what we're going to do is just do a couple of little leg pulses up and down on this side. And I just want you to be really aware, please don't lift your leg up really high, because when you do this, it's going to pull this tighter and closer together, which we don't want, especially if you have a concavity here, which I do on right thoracic, left lumbar. And we can just do little pulses here. So again, we're strengthening our glute medius, the muscle down the side, but also giving a chance for our spines to lengthen out. If you think of my scoliosis curve right now, usually my neck curve would be going down towards the ground, my thoracic would be going up, and then my lumbar going down. So I prop underneath the lumbar, I prop underneath the cervical, and I let my thoracic curve come down towards the ground because it's going to help straighten it out a little bit. In theory. So we're going a couple more pumps on this side. And then we're going to roll over and try the other side. So right thoracic, left lumbar if I'm lying on my right side, and if you have left thoracic, right lumbar, you can lie on your left side. Same thing, you can either use your bicep as a pillow or a yoga block, or if you have a really thick book, sometimes that can be helpful, or a couple of books. I've been doing that with some of my clients. So with this side, we want to prop underneath the rib hump, that big bit that pokes out, the bit that we all love. We're going to prop underneath that. So this time you do actually really want to get the ribs. And it's higher than you think. It's higher than you think. If you're propping low down, go a little bit higher, please. It's almost underneath your armpit, but not quite. And on this side, you're trying to get your body in a nice straight long line. On this side, I either have both of my feet together like this, or if you lose balance, I would go both feet together like this. Because this part is convex, I don't want to stretch this leg out. I actually want to keep this hip up and keep this part together. My focus now is opening the ribs on this side. And actually I want to get away from these props. I don't want to collapse into these props because my curve wants to come down like this. So I want to push up and away from the props. And yeah, hopefully this is making sense. We can take some deep breaths here. Again, adjust for your curve, get some help. Use a mirror, use a video. But we can take the leg up and do some little pulses on this side. Because I know that I don't mind if this hip comes up a little bit, I might go a little bit higher on this side. But again, this is for my hips. My hips are doing something different to your hips. So you need to figure out what your body is doing, and then you can learn to adjust things that are going to be more suitable for your curves. And it's hard. Not gonna lie, it's hard, but this is what I do. This is what scoliosis coaching is. It's teaching your body, teaching you about your body and your curves and what to do for it. So yeah, it's not easy, and I totally get it, and I'm sorry if you're confused, but let's get a couple more pulses on this side. My leg is burning. We'll go 3, 2, 1. Oh gosh, okay. Well done. I know that's confusing, and I just hope that it gives you an idea of what is capable for scoliosis and fusion. Even if you have a fusion and you just tried to do that, I can guarantee that part of the vertebrae that aren't fused still have scoliosis. You're still going to have a curve in there that will benefit from potentially being propped. So we're just going to learn as much about our curves as possible, and then we can do exercises like this to help lengthen the curve and also strengthen the body. So thank you for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow.